Hi crafting friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, a special welcome. I'm here in the Catoctin Mountains of Northern Maryland. Where are you watching from? I'd love to hear in the comments below. My name is Lisa, and this is my newest grandson. Here in this video, I'm going to be showing you some fun ways to decorate using the snowman theme. With all of the snowy weather outside, I was inspired to make some pretty winter decor, and to do that, I'm going to use Dollar Tree canvas. As you see here, I'm cutting a piece of the white canvas from one of the $1.25 canvas boards. I'll save that frame for possible use in another project, but I'm trying to just remove that center piece of white canvas so that I can decoupage a really whimsical snowman-inspired napkin onto the surface. I'll show you some of the various techniques to use to decoupage to create a look as though the image has been painted on the canvas. Then I'm going to show you how to create a busted canvas. Step by step, you'll see the ease with which you can create this very popular trending project. This is the fun napkin I'm going to be using, and you see I'm removing the bottom 2 plies. This napkin is 3 ply, and we only want to use that surface layer. The easiest technique to remove those extra plies is to put a little bit of Mod Podge between your thumb and index finger, and then just gently pull it apart. That will free up that surface layer of the design. You're then going to take that, and I'm going to show you a fun way to decoupage. I have a plastic bag here, and I'm just going to lay the napkin upside down on that plastic bag. Again, it's just that surface ply that we're using. Now you see I'm using a water spray bottle, and I'm just saturating the napkin. That immediately causes it to wrinkle. But these are wrinkles we can control. Gently pull those wrinkles out using your fingertips. That will make for a lovely, smooth design to adhere onto your canvas. The next thing I'm doing is using one of the Dollar Tree sponge brushes, and I'm just applying a liberal coating of Mod Podge over the surface of the canvas. I go in horizontal as well as vertical directions. Once I have a nice even coat of Mod Podge on that canvas surface, I'm then just going to take that plastic bag where the napkin is laying, and I'm going to flip it over so that the napkin will be right side up. As you see now, I'm just using that tissue, the bottom plies of that napkin, to smooth over that plastic bag, going from the inside outward, and then peeling back the plastic bag reveals that napkin beautifully adhered to the canvas. The texture of the canvas shows through and gives the look of a painted design. It's an amazingly simple process that reveals a very transformative result. I'm now using some very fine glitter that I purchased from Amazon just to dust the lower portion of the design. I want to make the snowman sparkle as well as that snowy base that he's standing in. I want that to have some shimmer like new fallen snow always does. Now I'm using this piece of black canvas. This is another $1.25 Dollar Tree black canvas. I'm also going to use a piece of really pretty rice paper that I bought from the paper source. I cut it to fit into the back side of the canvas. Again, I'm using that Dollar Tree sponge brush as well as some Mod Podge to provide a nice liberal coating to adhere that rice paper. Once I go in horizontal and also vertical stripes and have a nice even coating, I'm going to lay that rice paper down. Now, it's important to lay the paper down so that the pretty, most decorative side is upside down. it will make sense to you when we see how the canvas gets busted out to reveal the design from behind. Now that it's in place, you can see I'm using that same sponge brush and adding Mod Podge to the surface of it. I'm going to do that a couple of different times with a thorough dry in between each coat. As you can see, I'm using my finger just to smooth it out a little bit where I saw some ridges, and then I'm just using that sponge brush again to go over it. Now, with my heat gun, I'm hastening that drying process so I can add the next layer of Mod Podge. The reason I'm adding several layers of Mod Podge is to create a very leathery texture to the rice paper. While that continues to dry, let's take another look at our little snowman design on the canvas. It's dried nicely, and I'm using some hot glue to go around the perimeter of that back side so that I can adhere it. Now, what I'm using to adhere it to is a piece of foam that came in a gift box from a Christmas gift. And you just want something to give it some substance so that we can then frame it into our busted canvas. You could use a thick piece of cardboard or almost anything, but I had that piece of foam in my stash. Here I'm using the sponge brush again, putting on another layer of Mod Podge and drying it again. Now that the snowman is adhered to that foam, I'm going to add this little mini Christmas tree that I also had from some vase filler from Dollar Tree. I'm using a drop of hot glue to attach it to the little wagon that the snowman has. The tree was in the wagon, and I thought it would be pretty to have kind of a three-dimensional effect there. You could do that with his scarf or the little cardinal too. While all of that continues to dry, now I'm going to show you how I'm using a $1.25 basket from Dollar Tree. On my recent Dollar Tree tour, I showed you that they had a wide variety of these little baskets. I picked up one with the black rim because I thought it would be pretty with the snowman design in the bottom of the bowl of the basket. So I'm going to use that same sponge brush with some more Mod Podge, and I'm going to use another portion of our snowman napkin. I'm using a water pen. It's filled with water in the chamber, and I outline the portion of the design that I want to use. That weakens that portion of the napkin, allowing me to tear it away, creating a feathered or deckled edge around the design. That will help it to blend nicely into the weave of the basket. I've estimated about how big I want the design to be to fill the bottom portion of that basket. Here you see I'm just going around a little bit more of the design to tear away a little bit more of that excess design. We only have just so much room in the bottom bowl of the basket. So now that I have it torn away, I'm going to again put some Mod Podge in between my index and thumb and go ahead and separate those plies. Once again, we just want the top layer of the design, so I'm tearing away the bottom two plies of the napkin. I'm going to set that aside while I use a liberal amount of Mod Podge in the bottom of the bowl of the basket. Using that sponge brush gets it nicely down into the weave. The next step is just to lay your design in place. I'm very carefully using my fingertips to press it down into the weave and make sure that it adheres on all sides. Then I'm going to use some more Mod Podge and just go over that snowman to seal it in. I've sped this up for you, but you do want to be very gentle with your motions so that you don't tear that thin, wet napkin. Here again, I'm using that heat gun that I purchased from Amazon just to hasten that drying. And before it's fully dry, I'm using that fine glitter to go over the entire design. That makes it look very sparkly and shimmery the way new fallen snow often appears. Before I decorate the rim, I'll set it aside to dry while we return to our busted canvas. Now that it's thoroughly dry and the back does feel very leathery, I'm using a fine pair of scissors to create a cross design in the center back. You could use an X-Acto knife as well, but I'm using this little fine pair of scissors to create a vertical and then a horizontal line. That's the beginning of your busting out technique. Then I'm going to create radiating spokes. Now you want to be conscious of how far out you want your lines to go. My design is rather small and won't fill the entire frame, so I'm not going to go too far out because I don't want to expose beyond the actual design. So just be mindful of that as you cut outward. You can cut as many diagonal lines as you would like, depending on how many curls you want there to be in your busted canvas. Some people also twist their strips, giving it an added dimension of design. Here, I'm making quite a few diagonal cuts outward toward the outer border of the frame. But again, I'm not going too far out. I've learned from past experience, it's easier to lengthen them than it is to have them cut too far. So you can see now it's working out beautifully. I'm holding from behind the design that we're framing just to get a sense of how far out I want that bust out to be. These are so much fun to do. All you need is to use a drop of hot glue on that tip and then just curl it back. Using your fingers, you can form that curl any way that you would like. They can be symmetrical or asymmetrically designed. You can have a lot or a few. It's really a creative process that's very easy to do and very satisfying. You can see how the effect of the bust out emerges. And I think that red against that really vivid black canvas is a bold display. So I'm just continuing to hot glue my tips down, and then I'm going to go ahead and frame our design. Because I had mounted my canvas to a piece of foam, I simply used hot glue around the border and attached it to the back so that the design would show through. Then I added a Dollar Tree snowflake from a package of scatter. And now I'm using this marker to just create the look of falling snow around our framed image. I wanted to carry the theme from the design all the way to the outer border of our canvas. And you can see I'm just using dots with this white marker. I think that was a fun finishing touch. I'm also using that same white marker to highlight the little places where the snow was falling in the design. Then I decided also to finish off the back. I didn't want that raw look to the back where you could see the foam, so I used a piece of rice paper to finish off the back as well. Now that our little basket has dried, you can see how sparkly and charming that design is. I also cut out some other little parts of the napkin to decorate the outer perimeter. This could be used in a very handy way on an entryway table to hold your keys or on a desk to hold any desk accessories. It's a fun way to elevate a $1.25 basket. And now I want to show you another Dollar Tree item. I bought this little frame for $1.25, and I used the same technique. I took this pretty little bird napkin and I did the same technique of separating the plies, laying it upside down on the plastic bag, attaching it to the canvas with Mod Podge and smoothing it out, and you can see it looks just like painting on canvas. This frame did not have any glass, so it was really easy just to remove that cardboard inset and then attach with some hot glue my canvas design. I used that hot glue around the perimeter of the back side of that canvas and then just adhered it to that cardboard. Then I put it back into that pretty little green frame. That green border complemented so nicely the green in the design. In order to give it a more finished interior edge, I decided to use 2 of the glittery pipe cleaners from the Dollar Tree. This silver kind of evoked the look of snow, I thought, and so it gave it a pretty shimmer and finished off that interior edge. So I just used a little bit of hot glue all the way around that interior edge and adhered that pipe cleaner. I used 2 of the shiny pipe cleaners. This is just one more example of once you learn the basic decoupage technique using napkins and canvas, it's so much fun and so easy and inexpensive to create lovely decor for your home or as gifts. I would love to hear which was your favorite in the comments below. Each one was made with a napkin, and I hope that showing you these different decoupage techniques will inspire you to create some fun decor for your home using napkins and Dollar Tree baskets and canvas. Please do comment below, and also please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. It's fun, free, and festive. And upcoming, I have some more snowman projects. Then we're into Valentine's decor. Until then, please take care and God bless.